Crochet family, we are going to do a quick voiceover showing how to do the granny square. This is my way of how I do a granny square. There's so many different ways that you can do it, but I'm going to show you how I start my granny squares. Now, I use a 5.5 millimeter hook and a weight 4 yarn, and I begin with a magic ring. This is how I do my magic ring here. It's hard for me to explain it, so y'all can kind of just look and see how I do it, because I know everyone does it differently. But to begin, I always chain up 3, and I do count my chain 3 as my first stitch. So there I go, chaining that up, 1, 2, and 3, and then I make 2 more double crochets, because I am going to start with clusters. So all in all, I will have 4 clusters, and this is the first cluster, which is a set of 3 double crochets, and then I chain 1. After chaining 1, I go to make another cluster of 3 double crochets. I like to pull my ring a little bit as I go. I just find that it's a little easier for me crocheting in that ring. So here I go again. That's my first double crochet, and I'll do 2 more double crochets to make a cluster, and I will see y'all at the end of this cluster. Before I let it all play through, I wanted to say too, I am going to let it play through on normal speed, because I am not going to speed it up. I think that it is nice so that everyone can see, you know, how it looks in actual real time. So I'm going to keep all the footage in. I'm not going to speed it up. And if you want to speed it up, you can kind of pass this part and meet me at the end of the clusters. But I'm going to just let it kind of go so y'all can see how it is actually crocheting in real time. Okay, so now we're at the end of our clusters, and we have a total of 3 double crochet clusters with a chain 1 in between, and I will go to that first chain 3, which counts as that double crochet, and I will slip stitch in the top of that double crochet, slip stitch, and I'm going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. And I always turn my work and start the next round. Now my next round, this is how I do it. So that chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet. I'm going to start building my corners here. So I will make another cluster of 3 double crochets. That's my second one. This is my third one, and then I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to make another set of 3 double crochets. This right here is going to make my first corner. Now, I do not chain 1 in between when I move along to the next corner. The only chain 1 I do is when I'm working the actual corners. So I'm going here, as I can show you here, I'm going into that corner stitch here, and I'm going to put 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm going to chain 1 after this one. That's my only chain 1, and then I'm going to do another set of 3 double crochet for the clusters, and I'm going to do that 2 more times, and I will see y'all at the end of this one. All right, y'all, we are back at the end of that, and as you can see, we are building a beautiful granny square coming up. Y'all see the corners are built. Now we are going to start on our third row, and what I do is slip stitch into that chain 3, our first double crochet. At the top of that stitch, I actually just go in the same way we did in the beginning, and we are going to slip stitch, and we are going to chain up 3, and we're going to turn our work after we chain that 3 to start the next row. Now we are going into that first centerpiece now, and that's how we're going to start. We're just going to put one cluster. When we're building up the edge, it's just one cluster of 3 double crochets, and then I do not chain. I always just go straight into that corner. The only time you'll see me chain 1 is in the corner stitches. All around my granny squares, I do not chain. That's just my preference. Some people do chain, but for me, I do not chain. So here we're building that corner up with 3 double crochets in each corner, chain 1, 3 double crochets. Then we go to that side and we just place 3 double crochets in the side. Then we're going to build up that corner right after we finish that side stitch. So I'm showing you here, this is how it will look. I'm going to let the video play, like I said, in real time, just to show y'all how my granny squares turn out. And I hope y'all are actually liking it. Y'all will see me struggle a little bit with my hook and yarn. Sometimes it act like it doesn't want to catch, but it's just because I'm trying to crochet behind the camera, so it's a little difficult, but I hope y'all are really enjoying this tutorial. Y'all, I wanted to pop in at the end because I'm building up the last corner. And with granny squares, as you can see, just make sure you have your 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets for your corners to build up your corners. And as you make it bigger, the size, you will actually see that it will get larger, and you'll have more side pieces to actually put 3 double crochets in. Now I stopped here because after this it's repetitive. It's how big you want your granny square to be. At this point, y'all, I struggled a little bit with with getting my slip stitch here. I don't know why it gave me a hard time, but it was giving me a hard time. But just remember to slip stitch at the end of each round, and then you're going to chain up 3, and that counts as your first double crochet. And remember to turn your work, because I feel turning your work gives you like that nice smooth flat granny square. I hope this tutorial helped y'all. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Y'all, I really enjoy doing this, and as always, I will see y'all in the next one.